Hey y'all, so today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the arms deal between Canada and Saudi Arabia. So as of last year, Canada sold $3 billion worth of weapons to the country of Saudi Arabia. And it's important to note that that 3 billion figure is more than double the amount of arms, or it's double the amount of money that was involved in the arms deal between these two nations the year before. All right, and the majority of the arms that we've exported to Saudi Arabia are light armored vehicles, short form LAV. And this arm deal that we have with the Saudis is actually, in sum, is about $14.8 billion Canadian. And these $3 billion that were reported in the arms deal last year, this is such a big figure because I don't know if you guys know this, but there was actually a pause on exports of weapons. And this was because of the killing of a Saudi journalist, Jamal Khashoggi, back in 2018. And it was the Saudis that killed this journalist because he was critical of King Salman, the ruler of Saudi Arabia. And there was also a temporary ban because of the increased scrutiny faced by Saudi Arabia because of their human rights violations. But the reason why they were able to still provide Saudi Arabia with so many weapons is because this temporary moratorium, it didn't mean that there were no other weapons contracts that could be honored. So they were still able to provide them with weapons. Canada exported more than 30 large caliber artillery systems and 152 heavy machine guns to the Saudis. And this multi-billion-dollar arms deal, it started under the Harper administration back in 2014, and it has continued under the current Trudeau administration. At the time that it was signed, it was the largest export deal in Canadian history. And it's important to note that Canada is the second largest arms dealer to the Middle East. And human rights groups and policy advisors and intellectuals have been calling on the Trudeau government for some time to stop the arms deal to Saudi Arabia. And this is obviously, as I mentioned earlier, because they are one of the top human rights violators in the world. People are killed for apostasy, for witchcraft, a whole litany of things. Also, political prisoners are routinely killed. This is the textbook definition of an autocratic theocracy. There have also been countries like Germany and Sweden that have fortunately realized that they can't be continuing on with arms deals to Saudi Arabia because of their human rights violations, and they have stopped. But Canada has shown, at least this government has shown, that they want to continue to honor this deal because money and providing jobs is more important to them than saving human lives. And that's just the real reality of this thing. And the argument that the Liberals will always bring up whenever people call on them to rightfully stop selling weapons to Saudi Arabia until they start respecting human rights, the reason that they don't do that is because they're saying that it would incur billions of dollars worth of penalties if they violate their arms deal with Saudi Arabia. And there was even a government review that was recently done. And after the review was done, the Foreign Affairs Minister, François-Philippe Champagne, he was saying that, and this is back in April, he was saying that there was no clear evidence that the Canadian military equipment was being used for human rights violations in Saudi Arabia. Now, I'm no expert, but I think that's a load of bullshit. Because if they're the government that are the ones providing the weapons, then what makes you think that their government review is going to be transparent? Of course they're using these weapons to carry out their human rights violations. Canada always wants to pride itself as the peacekeeper, trying to, promote democracy and peacekeeping missions around the world. And yet we're helping to arm one of the most brutal regimes in the world. And unfortunately, not enough people know about this, and many people fall for this propaganda that we've been led to believe for the past decades. So yeah, now is the time for Canada to really show that they are a peacekeeping nation. They need to prove that they actually care more about lives than just dollar signs. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about this. Again, thank you for watching. If you like what you see here and you want to see more, make sure to hit that like button, click on the subscribe button, and click on the bell so you never miss a notification. Until next time, y'all.